Hey, today we're in Leviticus chapter 11 and 12, kind of short chapter, so it won't be very long, dealing with what's a good animal and what's a bad animal, what's a clean animal, what's an unclean animal, what animal can you use to sacrifice, what you can't, what's good to eat, and what's not. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's just go ahead and jump into um, chapter 11, and then we'll talk about it some more at the end. The Lord told Moses and Aaron to say to the community of Israel, "You may eat any animal that has divided hoofs and chews the cud, but you must not eat animals such as camels, rock badgers, and rabbits that chew the cud but don't have divided hoofs. And you must not eat pigs, they have divided hoofs, but don't chew the cud. All of these animals are unclean, and you are forbidden even to touch their dead bodies. You may eat anything that lives in water and has fins and scales, but it would be disgusting for you to eat anything else that lives in water, and you must not even touch their dead bodies. Eagles, vultures, buzzards, crows, ostriches, hawks, seagulls, owls, pelicans, storks, herons, hoopoes, and bats are also disgusting, and you are forbidden to eat any of them. The only winged insects that you may eat are locusts, grasshoppers, and crickets. All other winged insects that crawl are too disgusting for you to eat. Don't even touch the dead bodies of animals that have divided hooves, but don't chew the cud. And don't touch the dead bodies of animals that have paws. If you do, you must wash your clothes, but you are still unclean until evening. Moles, rats, mice, and all kinds of lizards are unclean. Anyone who touches their dead bodies or anything touched by their dead bodies becomes unclean until evening. If something made of wood, cloth, or leather touches one of their dead bodies, it must be washed, but it is still unclean until evening. If any of these animals is found dead in a clay pot, the pot must be broken to pieces, and everything in it becomes unclean. If you pour water from this pot on any food, that food becomes unclean. Anything drinkable in the pot becomes unclean. If the dead body of one of these animals touches anything else, including ovens and stoves, that thing becomes unclean and must be destroyed. A spring or a cistern where the dead animals is found is still clean, but anyone who touches the animal becomes unclean. If the dead body of one of these animals is found lying on seeds that have been set aside for planting, the seeds remain clean. But seeds that are soaking in water become unclean if the dead animal is found in the water. If an animal that may be eaten happens to die and you touch it, you become unclean until evening. If you eat any of its meat or carry its body away, you must wash your clothes, but you are still unclean until evening. Don't eat any of these disgusting little creatures that crawl or walk close to the ground. If you eat any of them, you will become just as disgusting and unclean as they are. I am the Lord your God, and you must dedicate yourselves to me and be holy, just as I am holy. Don't become disgusting by eating any of these unclean creatures. I brought you out of Egypt so that I could be your God. Now you must become holy, because I am holy. I have given these laws so that you will know what animals, birds, and fish are clean and may be eaten, and which ones are unclean and must not be eaten. The Lord told Moses to say to the community of Israel, "If a woman gives birth to a son, she is unclean for 7 days, just as she is during her monthly period. Her son must be circumcised on the 8th day, but her loss of blood keeps her from being completely clean for another 33 days. During this time, she must not touch anything holy or go to the place of worship. Any woman who gives birth to a daughter is unclean for 2 weeks, just as she is during her period, and she won't be completely clean for another 66 days. When the mother has completed her time of cleansing, she must come to the front of the sacred tent and bring to the priest a year-old lamb as a sacrifice to please me, and a dove or a pigeon as a sacrifice for sin. After the priest offers the sacrifices to me, the mother will become completely clean from her loss of blood, whether her child is a boy or a girl. If she cannot afford a lamb, she can offer 2 doves or 2 pigeons, one as a sacrifice to please me, and the other as a sacrifice for sin." So what we see is God laying out some clean and unclean animals. This isn't the first time he's done this. Remember Noah on the ark put in clean and unclean, and we're not sure how Noah knew that, but he knew what was the clean animals and the unclean animals. there's a reason that God is doing all of this. It's kind of a training. It's for people to understand that some animals really aren't good to eat, and also this sets them apart. God is setting the Israelites apart from everybody else. The Israelites are doing things differently, and they're trusting God to provide for them, and the reasons behind it uh, is health wise. Now in the New Testament, it's clear that clean and unclean no more. You know, we can eat what we want to eat, but there's still a lot of wisdom in what God has done to say, you know what, rats, they're really not good for you to eat. Mice, nah, you know, you need to stay away from that. And it's still true today. It still holds true that a lot of those animals, they're just not safe. It's not well for us to eat them. So again, God is just trying to protect us and guide us and help us to understand why He's doing some of the things that He does. I hope you have a great day.